How do the most successful people spend the first hour of their day? And does it actually impact and change their life all that much? Well, after coaching and working with hundreds and hundreds of clients over the last few years, people who started from nothing and struggled in their lives, and also very successful people who were very wealthy, just all kinds of different human beings, all kinds of amazing human beings. What I realized was that when people tend to do well, when they're winning at life, they're following a winning pattern and they're using the right strategies. It's not a coincidence, it's not luck, it doesn't happen by accident, and this is how you can change your life very, very quickly just by shifting what you do at the very beginning of each day. First of all, move your lazy ass. And I mean that in the kindest, most loving way possible. I really want you to stop waking up, grabbing your phone and checking social media and looking at all this stuff, email, just bombarding your brain with everybody else's agenda first thing. What this does is pretty much hijack all of your intentions, take over your life, and then steer you in the direction that other people want you to go. You're not in control anymore. You don't really get to decide what you're going to do. You don't get to be intentional because you're just reacting right away. And of course, I've been guilty of this. That's how I know how bad it is. You can literally lose track of everything just by starting out with that mentality, with that mindset of sort of just falling into everybody else's agenda and falling into someone else's trap. Remember the saying that if you don't have a plan for your life or for your day or for the first hour of your day, someone else does. Someone will impose their plan on you, and then you will be left having to do something that you didn't really want to, thinking about something that you didn't really want to. You can pretty much just wave goodbye to all your intentions and all your dreams right off the bat because you are falling into a sinkhole and it's very difficult to get out of it. That momentum, that negative momentum will be carried with you for the rest of your day. So big warning. Don't fall prey to this trap, stay out of it. Now, it's not your fault that our brains are optimized to look for easy shortcuts and quick solutions, to find some dopamine and some pleasure chemicals to be released in our brain, but at the same time, you can help yourself out of it. So let's do that. Use one of the following alternatives. Option A is a dedicated alarm or a voice assistant device of some kind. Now, it's really important that you make it hard for yourself to ignore and then go back to sleep and snooze, because snoozing typically won't give you any deep, meaningful, restful sleep, so you will probably wake up more tired than you did before you press snooze. If you use or want to use a voice assistant, an easy little trick is just to disable auto voice recognition. That way, it doesn't just go off while you're laying there in bed. You have to get up and actually click it and then say it, or then press the button so it actually lets you talk to it. And then that exerts a lot more effort. It gets you out of bed, and that movement immediately is going to help you out.
I will never die.
Now, the other option is to have your alarm clock or your phone going off in another room not too far away from you. If you have the ability to do that, great. But even if you don't, at the very least, if you're gonna use your phone, have it away from your nightstand. Preferably, have your alarm or your phone as far away from your bed as possible. This makes it a lot tougher to automatically just sink into your bed, start scrolling, or doing some mindless activity that isn't helping you. And the final option, which I actually don't like as much, but it's pretty popular nowadays, is some type of puzzle alarm. It basically forces you to think a little bit and really wakes your brain up. At the same time though, after you solve that, if you're doing it in bed, what's the chance of you actually getting up and starting your day right? Because you're there, it's convenient. So if you're gonna use it, I'd preferably have you use it in combination with having your phone out of reach and further away from yourself, so you have to actually get up out of bed. Now, once you've managed the dreadful task of actually pulling yourself out of bed, then what I want you to do is exercise. Always exercise, even if it's just a little bit. I know for many people this is annoying and it's something that they don't want to start their day with, but it's a game changer. You get your body moving, it's gonna start the blood flow, it's gonna make your brain just wake up a little bit quicker and be a little bit sharper, and overall the benefits really outweigh the effort. So the return on your investment here is very, very high, and it would be a real shame for you to be missing out on it. It doesn't matter if you do 10 minutes of just going outside and going for a walk, or if you do some jumping jacks or some push-ups, whatever works for you, but something to get the blood flowing, get yourself moving, create some physical momentum. Remember that motion creates emotion, and if you're having a very slow, stagnant morning and you don't get to really move around a lot, it's going to create that sluggish feeling. It's going to make you slow. It's going to take a lot of time for you to hit your prime and to really operate at your best capabilities. And we don't want that. We don't want to waste time in your day where you're subpar and just not really feeling sharp. What's the point in that? Now that we got that first part set in place, the second part of this equation is outsmarting your own ego. And we really want to build you a powerful habit stack. But before we can do that, there's something that we need to understand. And it's the fact that if you're trying to rely on your willpower, you are setting yourself up for failure. Making the right decision over and over and over again every single day is nearly impossible. But making the right decision just one time is pretty much doable for anybody. It probably sounds a little bit cheesy, but this is exactly how I transformed my life. I made a few really good decisions one time, and then I just followed through like a robot. I was just executing the program that I've wrote before. I was just following the plan that I made earlier. And if you do this correctly, then you don't have to think. You don't have to be really, really smart every day and come up with these great ideas and make all these great decisions all the time. You really only need to do it one time that then sets you up to do the right thing over and over and over again, giving you incredible results. Look, I was lethargic, I was depressed, I had social anxiety, I was broke, everything was going wrong in my life because I was trying to do the right thing every day. Right? Wake up and okay, I gotta do the right thing, gotta make sure I make the right choices. Hopefully I don't slip up. But when I shifted it and just made the right decisions one time and then followed through on that over and over and over again, it became easy. To give you a very practical and real example, think about how difficult it would be for me to decide whether or not I was going to work out every day. And then not only that, but also decide on how many calories I was going to burn. Now we have to think a lot. We have to make some uncomfortable decisions. And if I'm not feeling like it, it's very, very likely that I'll just not do it and let the whole thing slide. And that's really, really silly because if we do that over and over again, what happens is we become unhappy with our lives and who we are as a person. And even though I would love to encourage you and tell you that, you know what, you're a special snowflake, you're a superhero, you're not gonna run into this issue, the harsh reality is you will, and it will happen to you as well. It probably already is happening to you. If you're not in control of your morning routine, if you don't have your day set up and you're not in control of your day, you're probably slipping and sliding and tripping over yourself constantly. I know I was. Thankfully, there's an easy solution and hack to this. All you have to do is set yourself a minimum. See, I'm not telling you that you should meditate for an hour every day and that you should work out for 2 hours and that you should eat perfectly and know exactly everything that you should say to everybody and just absolutely crush it and be this majestic person who can never do anything wrong. I'm just asking you to say, well, I'm gonna burn at least 10 calories every morning in my workout. It's not anything big, it's not significant, it's nothing crazy, but it's momentum. And it's a vote for you being the type of person that you want to be. Same goes for meditation. Set a 5-minute minimum, right? Maybe set yourself the minimum of having a green with every meal or something healthy. Hell, it could be 10 push-ups or even 5 push-ups. Let's get really basic because it's more about the act and starting than it is about doing it right and doing so much of it that you can prove to yourself that you're good enough or grow rapidly and very, very quickly. The moment you start it, right? That's when something incredible happens. Something really, really incredible. It usually makes you want to just keep going, right? So you might have that minimum, but how often are you actually just going to do the bare minimum? Maybe in the beginning you'll do it quite frequently, but over time you'll do more than you need to do because you feel capable and you have it in you and you can feel that potential and you're not exhausted and you're not, feeling horrible about yourself. So it makes it easy to do more of the right thing. That's what we're doing here. We're setting you up to make it easy to do the right thing. It's not supposed to be hard. It's not supposed to be annoying and frustrating all the time to do the right thing. We need to find systems and mechanisms that make it easy for us because our brains are looking for that. So let's give our brains what they want instead of starving them and trying to force ourselves and willpower ourselves to do the right thing. So here's an example of the mental frame and the setup that happens, and this is really the difference maker. So the shitty one would be something like, am I going to meditate today? And a good setup would be, how much longer past my 5-minute minimum will I meditate today? Do you see the glaring and obvious difference between these two? One is, should I even do the thing? And the second one is, yeah, I'm definitely doing the thing. It's just a matter of how much. You can also add in the exact time that you will do that habit or that action, and that works really, really well and fits it perfectly. Now, do you see how much easier it becomes to do the right thing consistently? It's really a few minutes of planning, or maybe one day of planning, that sets you up for a lifetime of executing and following through the right way. Now, I hope that what I've shared with you so far has been helpful and that you're enjoying it. I've got some more for you, but before we get into that, I just want to make sure that you have subscribed to my YouTube channel so that you can get more content like this. Make sure you also turn on the notification bell so you actually get a little notification when I upload and when I post something new. And also, if you want to work with me one-on-one and get some personalized advice, and you want me to help you really improve your life as a whole and be in a community filled with like-minded, incredible people, then go to erafael.com. There, just put in your name and email and you'll be able to go through and book a call with me one-on-one. We'll talk, we'll see what's going on in your life, how we can improve it, and then what the next steps will be. And if it's a good fit, then we can work together. Again, it's a free one-on-one consultation. All you have to do is go to erafael.com, and I'm looking forward to talking to you if you decide to take advantage of it. We've been setting ourselves up for this nicely with what we've talked about so far, but now it's really that moment where the rubber meets the road, and it's time for you to get practical by deciding what your actual habit stack will be. And the one that I'm sharing with you, or some small variation of it, some slight variation of it, has stuck with me for almost 7 years now, and it's proven very, very effective. A lot of my clients use something similar as well. The first thing I do is get up out of bed and go exercise. It's my first habit, and it creates momentum and it builds so much good energy for the rest of the day. When I first started out, it was really simple sit-ups and push-ups, you know, the very basics, just to get some momentum. And now I typically go to my rowing machine or elliptical, as I have like a small home gym, and I focus mostly on cardio because I want to live for a long time and I want my heart to be good and strong and healthy, and that's really the goal of my exercise. You might want to grow in a different area. Maybe you want big muscles, or maybe you have a different target, and that's fine. Just adjust appropriately. Now remember, this is where the power comes in. For me, my bare minimum, the very least that I'll do, is burn 30 calories. I know it's not always completely accurate if you're using some type of cardio device, but it's good enough. And that's really what I follow, and that's my measurement for the very minimum that I'll do. Secondly, I meditate. I use a very simple meditation technique. I simply sit down and focus on my breath and try to let any thoughts go. And really, I just want to be present. So I get present and I give myself at the very least 10 minutes to do so. If I want to sit for longer, then that's perfectly fine. In fact, I encourage myself to, but there is no pressure. Even if I don't get there or I'm not feeling amazing after, that's okay. Most of the time though, because of this setup, it makes it really easy to succeed. The most important thing during my meditation is really just letting go and not holding any expectations or too many thoughts, really enjoying the fact that I'm alive and I'm breathing and I'm here. Once I'm done, I plan my intentions and really get clear on my goals for the day. At the very least, I'll have one major project or goal that I want to focus on. So something that I really want to have accomplished. That way, there is a clear intention for my day and I know what I'm going to focus my attention on. In the past, I would also spend some time here really writing out how I wanted to show up, the kind of person that I wanted to be. And who I am today is really a direct result of what I wrote years ago. You know, I really decided on who I wanted to become. I wrote it out and then I became that person. So that's a really powerful exercise that you can add in there too. And my minimum for that was 1 page. So it would take quite a bit of time, typically at least 15 minutes. My font size was 14 in case you were wondering. Now look, when it comes to the minimums, I really want you to let this sink in. Often I burn more than 30 calories. Often I meditate for more than 10 minutes. And often I plan my whole day. In fact, typically I have my whole schedule pretty mapped out and dialed in, the hour by hour play. In fact, I would dare to say that most of the time I exceed my own minimums, and that is the beauty of it. Because you see, people who feel good tend to do good things. So use the first hour of your day to make yourself one of those people.